Alright, the next part of our application here is to create a state that tracks the users if the user is logged in or out. Currently we have in our file we have this user is logged in, but it is part of the users TS here, and it's really, for now, it is scoped inside of this. But I want to create a global state for this one. So whenever I log in through a component, I want to extract the variable that contains is logged in if it's true or false, and then have it accessible throughout the entire application. So since we're already doing component-based programming and we are following the solid principles here, and especially the single responsibility principle, we want to continue with this. So I'm going to extract it, and I'm just going to show you what I mean here. So right now we only have these 5 navigation parts here, and I'm just going to log in quick. And this is the next step. This is not your current one. This is the next step of the application. So I log in. You can see I'm logged in over here in a moment. And now I have admin, and I have logout, and I have card. And again, if I log out, these will disappear. So I go back to having the 4th one. So navigational guards and also having this state here. So the first thing we will do for this here is we're going to create a new file inside the modules here. So click your modules folder, click new folder, and I'm going to create one called globalState. So camel casing this small g and small s, and inside this one I'm going to create a file called states.ts. And in here I'm going to do similar things as before. So I'm going to import, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's easy to see. If I hit the right key, I did. Woohoo! Import parenthesis curly brackets from view, and sorry, instead of doing a ref, I'm going to do a reactive one because it is structured as an object, and which will make the next part of what I'm doing a little bit more easy. So I am importing, or not import, yeah, I am importing reactive so I can use it. Next step is I'm going to export my const called state. And again, this will be the reactive we have and not user. It is going to be the isLoggedIn. And currently it should be set to false as a default, right? Because we, oh, sorry, I forgot to close the tags here. And there we, okay, I'm just going to tap it like that. So we use the reactive since it has to be an object compared to a ref, and I also don't have to write .value when I do use a react here, but it has to be a object. And this is a little bit easier to pass through a different component we have. So I'm going to save this state, and this is for now what we need. So we're exporting this so we have access to it, so it becomes a global one. And inside my use users, I'm going to change this one here. I'm going to actually mark this one out now because I'm going to move this into a different, or I'm going to call it in from up here. So import the state from, and I hope that's right. That is globalState. That looks right. And since we now remove this isLoggedIn, we have to go through the steps where we have, oops, is that only the place we have it up here, I think. Yeah, so we have to find where we have is logged in, because that's what we used before, and you should have a lot of red dots here, so it should be easy to find. The first one here is logged in on line 36 for me, and I have to change this. So instead of doing isLoggedIn value, because that was a ref before, we're now importing in a object with, if you go back to the state here, so isLoggedIn value, we're now importing in this one state, and then inside the state we have a property here called isLoggedIn. So we're going to change this around to state.isLoggedIn, and you can see that I'm going to do this again. So whenever I do state and do dot, it is already tracking this new one here. So I'm going to set this here to true. That doesn't matter if it's true. I think it's, if it's a login, yes. So that should be correcto for the first one, true, and then the next one will be for logout, I think. Let's see, logout, where we are here. So instead we just copy paste this one here, and we skip one up here. Let's just go, oh, here we go, for the fetch token. Oh, there was 2, I only spotted 1because it was in the catch error. So if something happens that's not correctly, make sure it keeps it at false. And then finally, at the bottom of our screen, we have to change this. So we're still using this name here, isLoggedIn, but we can, inside view, And we will change this to, well, we will keep this, and then we will add a colon here, and we'll do state.isLoggedIn. And I'm going to explain what this is here. So first of all, when we use this in TypeScript or JavaScript, in this case here, this is what we call an object literal. So we can separate the property name from their values here. And isLoggedIn colon state isLoggedIn is a line that defines the property of our isLoggedIn object here. And then we assign this value to isLoggedIn. So it's sort of what we're already doing, but we are making sure we're using the actual global state for this one here. And we'll also make it available to any component or module or whatever we want to use that uses this one here. So it's a good way to structure your code like this. All right, that's the first part. And the next one, we're going to do a few tests with this one.